Gotta bang that gavel hard.
I know, right? How do you like me? I know, right? All right, meeting will come to order. May I have roll call, please?
Trustee Buelna? Trustee Henderson? Present. Trustee Hernandez?
Here.
Trustee Hoffman?
Here.
Trustee Eno?
Here.
Trustee Vela?
Here.
Trustee Vettis?
Here.
Great.
Trustee Francis? Thank you.
Great. Trustee Eno will lead us in the flag salute today. Please rise. Right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Today, the board will adjourn the meeting in memory of Dr. Mani Garat, a beloved member of our faculty who served Los Angeles Harbor College with distinction since 1980. Dr. Garat was profoundly dedicated to her students. Her classes were always in high demand, and many of her calculus students successfully transferred to four-year universities. Dr. Garat's impact extended far beyond the classroom. She was nominated by students as one of the best math professors, a testament to her lasting influence as an educator. She worked tirelessly to ensure their success and consistently volunteered her time and expertise for curriculum development, hiring committees, faculty evaluations, and textbook selection. Dr. Garat is survived by her husband, Joe Huang, to whom she has been married for many years. She will be greatly missed by her students and her colleagues. On behalf of the entire Los Angeles Community College District community, we extend our deepest condolences to Dr. Garat's family at this most difficult time. Please join us for a moment of silence for Dr. Mani Garat. Okay. The First Amendment of the Brown Act guarantees a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than on private or unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements made which may subject a speaker to personal liability. Are there any members of the public signed up to address the board regarding regular agenda items?
Yes, we have one, Queen.
Great. Do you need some assistance?
And welcome you back. I hope everybody's having a wonderful 2026. And I came to address you at the last board meeting of the year, the first board meeting. And I'm so grateful that you dedicated a proclamation in honor of Dr. King. And specifically, this is G1. And whereas number 4 in that proclamation, you address Dr. King's letter from a Birmingham jail, which is very relevant to the information that I've sent to each of you today. You should have an email addressing an injustice. And what Dr. King said is that justice too long delayed is justice denied. And the injustice that began on July 15th, well, the letter was sent July 15th, 2024, exactly 18 months, is still unresolved to this day. And so I am asking you to, more than beyond the proclamation, take immediate action to right a wrong. Because as we all know, injustice anywhere is a threat justice everywhere. And injustice on one campus is injustice on every campus in this district. And it cannot be allowed to go on. I need not say names because they're in the emails. And as you see, what happened over the holiday, a hostile environment can lead to acting out. And so I bring it to your attention so that we can address this together professionally in the way that Dr. King would have us to address issues. So I thank you. I appreciate you distributing this proclamation. I love Dr. King immensely, so much. I did a big assembly in his honor on his birthday in 1998. And so when I saw that, I was like, you have to go because this is relevant. And I believe that you, Chancellor Armand, did I say that right? Will address this because of this eloquent proclamation that you distributed. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you. Chancellor, you'll follow up. Right? All right. Chancellor, can you please lead the agenda item on disclosures?
Thank you so much, President Hernandez. Prior to the vote on matters before the board today, the trustees are requested to advise our staff if there are any items on the agenda for which they have received a contribution from a participant in the matter. This requires disclosure and recusal under the Levine Act and another conflict of interest law. Trustees, when your name is called, please advise if you have disclosures to make on any of these items. And if so, if you can identify the agenda number and such item. Please also state the basis of the conflict by either identifying the donor of a disqualifying campaign donation or by providing information about another disqualifying financial interest. So I'll go ahead and take roll call, starting with Trustee Walna.
None.
Thank you. Trustee Henderson?
None.
Thank you. Trustee Hernandez?
None.
Thank you. Trustee Hoffman? Thank you. Trustee Eno?
None.
Thank you. Trustee Vela?
None that I'm aware of.
Thank you. And Trustee Vettis?
None that I'm aware of, boss.
Thank you.
Great. Approval of the agenda, order of business and minutes. The Los Angeles Community College District holds land that is originally and still are inhabited by the Gabrielino Tongva Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians, his nation, and the San Manuel, San Fernando, and San Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. We honor and respect their elders and descendants as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. Before we proceed, Chancellor Roman, are there any changes to the agenda and order of business?
Yes, again, thank you, President Hernandez. We have two changes for your consideration. We're requesting to pull business item Z4. We also have one correction for item LL1. This item should read East Los Angeles College, not Los Angeles Valley College, as it's currently listed.
Okay, may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda and order of business with the requested amendments?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Eno, seconded by Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Student Trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna? Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman? Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Vettis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Do we have any members of the resource table that wish to be recognized? Sorry. Before we do that, may I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the annual organizational regular board meeting and closed session of December 17th, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by Eno,
Second.
seconded by Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Student Trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna? Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vela?
Yes.
Trustee Vettis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Now, do any members of the research table wish to be recognized at this time to make comments before the board? Okay. Yes. No? Oh. She's gonna, no? Oh, okay. Angela?
Angela's on Zoom.
Is she online?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I believe we have Angela
Okay.
Javetti online.
Great. Okay.
Good afternoon. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. First of all, for the record, my name is Angela Echeverry, and I am currently serving as the president of the District Academic Senate. I am joining you from Rome, Italy. And I just want to again wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe new year. First of all, I'd like to start my remarks by congratulating President Montefiores for being selected as the permanent president of East LA College. I got a little ahead of myself at the last board meeting, so I do want to congratulate him for being selected to this position. And I want to say that today's board resolution celebrating Martin Luther King's birthday reminds us of our nation's past and current struggles to ensure civil rights for all. Struggles that many of us may have thought were in our nation's past. One of MLK's famous quotes is that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Unfortunately, recent events teach us that the need to defend and advance civil rights is more pressing and urgent than ever. The detentions, abductions, and violence against people of color in violation of their Fourth Amendment rights have been escalating over the past few months. And many people around the world are watching in horror, disbelief, and outrage. And the recent murder of Renee Good in Minnesota really has brought this to a just unprecedented level. As informed citizens, we have the duty to speak out and stand up against such injustices and follow Martin Luther King's example in resisting such injustice. Taking action will not be easy. It will not come out without risk, unfortunately, but silence and inaction are not an option at this point anymore. On another topic, this week, the California Community College's Chancellor's Office released its long-awaited Gender Equity Work Group report. The report found that the system's Title IX framework is broken as a result of defective design, underfunded implementation, and poor oversight. It also identified system-wide structural deficits and makes important recommendations for meaningful reform. In order to support student success and advance gender equity, I urge the board to carefully review the report and update our framework for racial equity and social justice to incorporate its recommendations to advance equity for all. Finally, I want to thank the board, Chancellor, Deputy Chancellor, our AFT colleagues, and Maria Veloz for recent conversations on efforts to reform AB 1705 to support student access and success. Thank you very much.
Ms. Wilson? And then Mr. McKeever after.
Happy New Year, Board of Trustees and Chancellor. My name is Chrisan Ozan, representing SEIU Local 99. I didn't get a chance to openly thank you, Trustee Eno, last month for your role as board president. Thank you for your support and for doing what you could to address the concerns of Local 99 and recognizing Local 99 members for the work they do. We look forward to continuing working with you, and thank you for everything. And congratulations, President Trustee Hernandez, for your new role as Board of Trustees. And we look forward to working with you on issues and concerns that affects Local 99 members. And congratulations to Vice President Trustee Hoffman and Steve Veras. And I also want to say congratulations to Dr. Perez We look forward to working with you as well. I was hoping to start off on a positive note for the new year, but it's hard when last year ended on a negative note. The reason I say this is because while everyone was celebrating and honoring Dr. Limbaugh for his retirement last year, one of our members / union steward, Nathan Lewis, was unfairly disciplined and recommended for dismissal for basically raising numerous safety concerns about the rat issues on campus, the harassment that goes on in plant facilities, the lack of follow-up from HR and administration to put a stop to these issues. And shortly after Nathan Lewis was recommended for dismissal, Tessa Lopez, who was a custodian at West, was fired from her job while on probation while reporting for the same concern to her supervisor, except a rat had actually jumped out of one of the trash cans and almost bit her in the face while she was cleaning. And when she reported this to the supervisor got angry because the incident was reported over the radio. And she was traumatized by the incident and reported it to her union steward, which was Nathan Lewis, which I was notified and reported it, and reported the incident to the deputy chancellor because they didn't want to pay her for, workers' comp. And so a few weeks later, the supervisor falsely accused Ms. Lopez by, falsely accused her of having poor work performance on her evaluation and terminated Ms. Lopez from her position after only having a few weeks to finish her probation. Now she is more traumatized for wrongfully being terminated from her job. And I say this because while some may feel Dr. Limbaugh was the best president at West, there are some that would disagree with this statement. My members can attest that he has been behind a lot of the toxicity, harassment, and retaliation that he allowed to go on at the campus against employees and against Local 99 members. And the attempt to dismiss Nathan Lewis and fire Tessa Lopez is a prime example of the harassment and retaliation that goes on campus under his watch. And I want to go even further than that. If you had the opportunity to read Nathan Lewis' recommendation for dismissal, you as a board would clearly see this is retaliation because mostly everything mentioned in the unsatisfactory notice had to do with the complaints made about the rats and complaints made about the harassment by the supervisors. And I'm not a lawyer, but I can clearly see this was outright retaliation. And I'm concerned that the deputy chancellor who authorized and approved the notice of dismissal and the president of Trade Tech who served as the Skelly hearing officer and recommended Nathan Lewis dismissal did not recognize this could be viewed as retaliation, which may expose the district to liability for wrongful termination. And I was surprised and disappointed by Dr. Albert Lopez's approval of Mr. Lewis' dismissal, lead me to question whether there was involvement in retaliatory conduct. And this is one of the reasons the district faces numerous lawsuits due to unfair employment practices that had adverse actions against employees for exercising their rights. And I would also like to address the Skelly hearing process. As you are aware, the purpose of the Skelly hearing is to provide employees with due process by offering an opportunity to meet with an impartial reviewer. This process helps prevent wrongful termination or unjust disciplinary action by ensuring fairness and allowing the employee to present their perspective and any mitigating circumstances before an unbiased officer prior to a final recommendation being submitted to the board. My concern is that the Skelly hearing meetings involving our members have not consistently demonstrated impartiality and fairness towards employees. And I recommend that college presidents are no longer recommended as designated Skelly officers due to a potential conflict of interest as they are part of management. And in my experience, attending these meetings, Local 99 members have not always received a fair hearing, even when presenting compelling evidence that could justify reduced disciplinary action or no discipline at all. And based on my observation, when cases are presented to the president, their role typically appeared limited to hearing the employee's statement and endorsing the recommended disciplinary action, rather than undertaking a comprehensive and impartial assessment of the situation. And for example, during a recent Scully hearing with Dr. McWhorter, despite the substantial evidence presented indicating that Nathan Lewis' unsatisfactory notice for dismissal was retaliatory, Dr. McWhorter still proceeded to recommend his dismissal. Furthermore, I was not allowed to represent Mr. Lewis or speak on his behalf during the hearing, which constitute a procedure violation resulting in a defective Scully hearing. And this is a problem that needs to be addressed by the board. I believe the most effective way to address the issue is to remove the presidents from the Scully hearing process and appoint an external individual who, with no affiliation to the district, to oversee the proceedings to ensure a fair and unbiased process is being conducted. And lastly, I just want to say that Dr. Martin Luther King once reminded us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. His dream was not confined to just one community, but for dignity and equality across all communities. Today, that dream is tested not only by families living in fear of separation under ICE, but also by the violence we're seeing with ICE that continues to plague our neighborhood and communities, like with the recent tragic killing in Minnesota and Northridge, California. It's a reminder that justice is still unfinished. Dr. King's vision reminds us that justice is not selective, whether it is immigrant families facing uncertainties or communities torn apart by gun violence. We must stand together. The dream lives on when we as a nation choose compassion over fear, solidarity over silence, and action over indifference. Only then can we honor Dr. King's legacy and build a society where every family, every community, every child lives free from fear and full of hope. If Dr. King was here today, he reminds us that love, compassion, and solidarity are stronger than fear. So I encourage everyone to keep this in mind as you honor and celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe we have Mr. McKeever on the line.
Happy New Year, everybody. I wish I could be there with you, but we're working on our contract negotiations and I'll be joining them after this. Congratulations once again to President Perez. And I want to thank the previous speakers for the things that they said about Martin Luther King. And I appreciate all the sentiments of the board as they put this forward as well. AFT 1521 strongly supports the resolution you'll be voting on today, celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. I have heard too many people evoke his name in the service of oppression, including our current president, or as a pandering to African Americans, once again, including our current president. It is not enough to quote King. We must begin to embody King's legacy, King and his legacy. We must remember that King did not practice nonviolence, but nonviolent resistance. Resistance was the key to the struggle, not silence, not acquiescence, not complicity, but resistance. The civil rights movement resisted the oppression and lawlessness of their time, and now we must resist the oppressive and lawless federal regime. But we can't do this if we're constantly treating each other as adversaries. King had his detractors, especially when he took a stand against the Vietnam War, and they had many heated debates behind closed doors. But it was their ability to talk and listen that made the movement stronger. They set aside their petty differences for the movement. Our district is under attack. Our profession and our community are under siege. Under the district's new leadership, we have found ways to work through issues and come to better resolutions. I hope for a quick contract negotiations so we can move on to the most important thing we need to do, which is resistance. The future depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Student trustee Francis, please summarize the proceedings.
Just,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
We're still. My apologies. Teamsters, Local 986. Hello.
Happy New Year, to
Yeah.
President Hernandez and members of the board and Chancellor Roman. Thank you. It's good to see you. I am Dr. Carmen Cortez Dominguez. I am a Dean of Arts, Media, and Design at Los Angeles Valley College, a fantastic college. I'm looking forward to seeing you all at our ribbon cuttings very soon. And I am here representing as acting president for the Teamsters, representing our district deans. I have been with the district very short time, just from October 2021. But I'd like to begin my remarks by congratulations to somebody I used to work with, and that would be Dr. Matt Jordan, who will be officially, I think, conferred into his new role as president of LA West College. Thank you. We were happy to work with you while we had the moment. We think you made a wonderful decision in placing him as acting president. As we proceed into the new calendar year, our members look forward to putting together our negotiations team and meeting with the management to revise our next Teamsters CBA before the current one expires next June. I'd like to absolutely affirm our members' deep commitment to the work we perform every day in service and support of student access, success, equity, and completion. The deans across our district have proven to not only be productive and proactive in addressing the challenges and opportunities of the last couple of years, they've also demonstrate each day they are adept at balancing productivity with flexibility. We do, and your deans do deliver every single day. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, student trustee Francis, please summarize the proceedings of the Student Affairs Committee meeting that you chaired on January 9th.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year's. We have a month to go until the spring semester starts, so I appreciate your commitment. Appreciate your hard work that you guys do to provide for our students in our district. A couple of things I wanted to go over is that we had a really great meeting. It was only great because there wasn't a lot to discuss due to the fact that my board of trustee meetings now fall after my SAC meeting. My SAC meeting usually forms before the board of trustee meeting, so I'm able to give them a lot of knowledge, but not give you guys the knowledge that we are currently working on. My student presidents, we're currently working on the district-wide affinity graduation celebration. We're currently identifying and engaging student leaders to connect their various identities and affinity groups. So my presidents right now are currently walking on their campuses and making sure that we are getting students that represent each of our affinity groups to participate into this community to combine all our affinity groups together for a celebration. I also want to clarify that the affinity graduation celebration does not replace the official graduation commencement ceremony. This is just for our families that are within our students that recognize from different backgrounds want to be together, because one things that we see is that if you don't know, I'm gonna retell my story again. In the beginning, a lot of our students felt like that we were being separated, like segregated when it came down to graduating. They had to pick between what graduations to come to. A lot of our students are mixed students, right? So we have a lot of mixed Latinos that are Black, LGBT, whether that be Muslim, whether that be in EOPS, whether that be in Prente. There's a lot of mixed organizations that were holding separate celebrations that was causing a low student involvement due to the fact that they didn't know which one to go to. So we're trying to, as presidents and leaders, to derate that by choosing one campus, and hopefully that you guys like this idea to rotate this on different campuses. We have 3 campuses in style right now: LA, Trade Tech, Pierce, and we have LACC and East LA. I did send over a brief documentation of the main important details of what that would look like on each campus. Right now, the main point of this is to make sure that students are not being missed. A lot of you guys have a great ideas of making sure that you guys are making sure that students don't not get misapprehended, but they are because it's too much going on. So the only way to make that even is to make sure that we host a facility where everyone's able to reach to, everyone has a say to how it's supposed to look like, and everybody has the availability and everybody has the same amount of time to negotiate what their ceremony should look like for a celebration. I had gotten great feedback on how this was a great idea within students. They're very excited. We can get a partnership right now with LA Metro to contribute with the busing and making sure that students that are far away from the campuses that we decide to host this at will be accommodated for, and making sure that everyone can be met in one place. I understand that's it's a kind of a little bit of pushback, but I want you guys to also understand that when something new comes up on the table, it's always jittery, right? And I'm here as a student trustee, making sure I can bring you the best, that's most comfortable regulations of how I want this to be formatted within the student voices. I want you guys also understand that what I bring to you guys and what I bring to the board here is not what I want, it's what me and my students want, right? So anything that I bring to you is not I woke up with this, is about what my students and concerns have been with me within this position. So moving forward, I want you guys to understand that we are moving forward with making sure that we are combining these graduations together. And I want to reiterate again, it does not take away from the commencement ceremony itself. You guys will be able to hold yours individually. We do have a mock coming in right now. I know my computer was down this morning due to our internet or software that went on with that. So I wasn't able to bring in the PDF of the 3D printout of each campus of what that would look like, what the main stage would look like, what the conference rooms would look like, of how students be interacting. I will have you guys with that within after this meeting, so you guys can look over that as well. I have been in contact with the student body presidents as well. They're excited as well. Another thing I want to look forward to is that I'm working with Southwest right now to create a Black party coming in for the return for students. I'm also working with Trade Tech of hosting a Skaterway event. That date has been picked, which is February 25th. Time will be determined, but the date is picked. I'm also working with Mission right now to create the first fashion show. So those are all in working right now. I have a little surprise for too, is that I've been working with the government officials to come to our campus and see what our student life is like, provide resources, provide knowledge. I know right now leaders are the main importance of this whole, it's above us right now. We need leaders, student leaders, anything that has to do with a leader. We need them at front line right now. So I'm out there partnering with higher ups to make sure they come down to our campus, or they send their workers, or they're able to come with us. I want to make sure that the partnership within us and on the state level is very strong, connected. I do see other campuses reaching out to partnership with 4 universities. That is very great. My student body presidents are very excited to see the work of our college presidents doing that work on that hand. So I also want to come here and congratulate the college presidents on your work of what you've been doing with my student body presidents. They appreciate you guys. One of the hiccups, mishaps that was going on was that our libraries are closing down, but I did get feedback saying that our libraries won't be officially closing down. It may just be some changes on how they're opening and operating. I also want to conclude that anything that has to do with students, you need to come talk to me or you need to come talk to your ASO president, your student government. You should not be having these one-on-ones when it involves students and their way of graduating, their way of focusing throughout the colleges. Have a student rep there so they can have a chance to save that. You just can't wake up and decide to take something away without you consulting with the necessary parties that will be affected, right? Because at the end of the day, if there's no students coming in, the ultimate result is you won't have a job. So the main point to stop that is to help out and to come here and communicate with us is, hey, this is what's not working. This is what is costing us money. This is what I need your student help with. If we don't get the student help, this is my alternate decision. Give us that route before you give an alternate decision, right? Because the last thing we want to keep patting back is shooting ourselves in the foot, where in longevity, it didn't work anyways. And now you're dealing with another problem down the line, right? So anything that has to do with my students, you need to make sure my students are involved in that voice of saying so you can either save that program or agree to delete that program, right? We're humans all about, right? But we need to understand the cause and effects and give us the opportunity to be a part of that. So please, you guys have my students in frenzy once they found out that our libraries are getting shut down. That's a main part. Not live. I'm sorry. Let me reverse my words. Not libraries. It was our bookstore. Our bookstore. Bookstores are getting shut down. Bookstores are primary example or primary of things for students that they utilize when they get anything, whether it's school supplies down to book routers. So if our bookstores and any source of your campus is having a low volume, that is what I'm here for. That is what your ASO, your student body is there for, because it's run by students, it's made for students. So you shouldn't have that decision to take something away from your students without you conducting with your students involved and that isn't involve or represent your student whole body itself. So just moving forward, anything that I ask from you from the respect of me is anything that's involved my students that may be in the red area of causing you a lot of money and it's not things being received, that needs to be communicated. We are adults. We're not in elementary school. So you can talk to us, right? We don't know what's going on if you're not talking to us. We see when that's disrespect if things are getting done behind scenes, but no communication is being said. Right. And we work so hard to this day to make sure communication is being balanced. So let's continue working on that. And that's all I have to say for this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, may I have a motion and a second on item F2 for board travel authorizations?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Eno. Second by Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote. Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolution celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. May I have a motion and a second on the item?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Hoffman, second by Trustee Boulna. May roll call, please?
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Boulna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Resolution of the LACCD ordering a regular governing board member election to be held November 3rd, 2026. May I have a motion and a second on item G2?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Eno,
I'll second.
second by Trustee Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Boulna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman. Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis. Thank you.
Great. Now we will recess to committee of the whole and transferring the gavel to Vice President Hoffman to lead us in the next.
Thank you. The committee of the whole will now come to order. May I have roll call, please, Lupe?
Trustee Boulna. Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Trustee Hernandez.
Here.
Trustee Hoffman.
Here.
Trustee Eno.
Here.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Here.
Student trustee Francis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any members of the public signed up to address the board regarding the committee of the whole?
No, ma'am.
Great. So joining us today is Mr. Maury Pearl, Interim Vice Chancellor of Educational Programs and Institutional Effectiveness. Welcome, Dr. Pearl. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Trustee Hoffman. So good afternoon, Board President Hernandez, Board Trustees, and Chancellor Rahman. I'm really pleased to be here with everyone this afternoon to share our new district strategic plan with you this afternoon. As you, I'm sure you are aware, the district strategic plan is a central planning document for the LACCD. It establishes the framework for LACCD college plans. The plan establishes district-wide priorities and provides an integrated organizing framework for college planning. It is a key document required for supportive accreditation and accountability, and provides guidance and linkages in relation to strategic initiatives and the multiplicity of plans across the district and the state. As you will see in the upcoming presentation, planning process included a comprehensive evaluation of our previous district strategic plan, a data inquiry and information gathering process, development of goals and objectives, selection of measures and data analysis to establish targets, and the collection of feedback from both internal and external constituencies. The plan has been in development for about the past 18 months by the LACCD District Planning Committee. This is one of LACCD's shared governance bodies, and it represents the culmination of the district-wide collaborative effort to craft a plan that represents and captures the broad areas of district planning, and which also improves upon and streamlines the previous district strategic plan. The district strategic planning, the district planning committee is co-chaired by Dr. Millie Kudo, who is the interim Associate Vice Chancellor in the Educational Programs and Institutional Effectiveness Division here at the district, and by Jeff Hernandez, faculty member at East Los Angeles College and first Vice President of the LACCD Academic Senate. And they will jointly be presenting the plan today. So without further delay, let me hand off to Jeff and Millie for the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're then ready. We've been introduced. So I think we're ready to proceed to the next slide. All right, and we want to just give a bit of a structure to the presentation. We're going to begin by going over the plan development process. There's different stages to that, and so it gives you a sense of all that went into the development of the strategic plan. We decided to organize this presentation along the lines of the actual document that you have on your agenda as DD1 that you'll be voting on. So next up then is what guides the plan that's built into the plan. So we'll spend some time, particularly with the mission statement and vision statements as well. And then we will be reviewing how we see the measuring of goals and implementation strategies. It's a slightly different approach that we think makes it more flexible and adaptable. And then we will conclude hopefully with our focus being on what's our next steps in terms of implementation. All right, next slide. And next slide again. And Maury sort of stole my thunder on this particular slide, but this is like why we're here, right? So thank you, Maury, for explaining the rationale for district strategic planning. I think we can now go to the next slide, and I will hand it off to Millie.
This particular slide outlines the 3 stages in the district development or the development of the district strategic plan, which has been comprehensive and phased. In here, we can start with stage one, which focused on evaluating the last district strategic plan, which spanned from 2018 to 2023. During this stage, we reviewed outcomes, assessed progress towards established goals, and developed a formal evaluation report that identified key findings and recommendations. From there, we moved on to stage two, which really centered on the plan development. And during this time, which spanned about 18 months, we gathered input from various constituencies and councils, as well as conducted and reviewed district-wide surveys. Using this feedback, updates to the mission and vision were made, plan and goals and metrics were drafted, and work was done with the colleges to aggregate and establish goals district-wide. And now we're in stage three, which again began kind of last term, but we've been doing it all along and involves kind of the sharing of the work that we've been doing and gathering feedback, and ultimately advancing the plan towards board approval. So this slide just highlights as a high-level overview of the full process, and we'll walk through each stage in a little bit more detail. Go to the next slide. As I mentioned, we really started by the evaluation of the outcomes of the 2018-23 plan to assess progress towards previously established goals. EPI compiled the data, and together with the district planning committee, an evaluation report was developed. This included quantitative results, qualitative input from the colleges, and of course, recommendations for the new plan. The findings from this phase provided some insights into how to improve our plan. Most notably, some of the lessons we learned was the need for higher quality data sources, better alignment with accountability systems and district priorities, as well as more feedback from the colleges. The findings from this evaluation provide the foundation for the new 24-29 plan, ensuring that our next set of goals builds on past accomplishments while addressing areas for improvement.
Next slide. So stage two is the development of the new plan. And that work benefited from the process of collective inquiry that was inherent in the evaluation process, which is stage one that we were discussing just a moment ago. So that collective inquiry that was part of evaluation continued on in the development of the new plan. And that meant receiving inputs from district planning committee members, trustees, various constituencies and stakeholders. That really served as the basis for the new plan. In contrast to the previous plan, this district strategic plan recognizes that while we have common goals and strategies and can identify core measures, each college contributes differently to each goal and strategy, given the uniqueness of the communities they serve. For that reason, the district planning committee conceived of a plan with fewer core measures than the previous plan, but a greater reliance on supplemental measures that colleges will emphasize differently. With this updated framework, EPI worked with the district planning committee to draft the district strategic plan to be more college-driven while still being subject to the robust data measurement and alignment with other planning priorities. Next slide.
Also, as part of stage two, we also worked intentionally to align the plan with key external and internal frameworks that guide our work. The hope was, rather than operating as a standalone document, that the DSP could really serve as a connecting framework that brings together state priorities, district commitments, and accountability requirements into a single plan. This slide highlights one of the appendices within the plan document, which illustrates how each goal within the plan, strategy, and performance measured was reviewed for alignment with frameworks such as the Vision 2030, and also just goals established by the trustees and others. In the next slide, if we could move, this brings us to stage three of the process, which really focused on gathering feedback. The goal of the stage was really to ensure that the proposed goals, strategies, and performance metrics are clear and meaningful to those who would be responsible for implementing the work. And of course, to confirm that the plan reflects the diverse context and needs and priorities of our 9 colleges. This slide just highlights some of the outreach and feedback activities that supported the effort. Over the past several months, we've been intentionally engaging stakeholders across the district through multiple venues, both in person and virtually. We've done some joint summits, committee meetings, administrative councils, student-facing forums, and even presentations to our own board members via the Institutional Effectiveness and Student Success Committee, all in an effort to kind of ensure some representation from instructional, student services, and administrative perspectives. On the next slide, in addition to kind of these meetings, we also had a district-wide feedback survey, which was also conducted. This allowed us to hear from just a broader cross-section of employees and stakeholders who may not participate regularly in some in the governance meetings, or just may be external to our district. The hope here was to kind of just strengthen the inclusivity of the process. Overall, as you can see from the results, the feedback was strong and consistent and positive across several core areas. As shown here, a large majorities of the respondents agreed or strongly agreed that the district strategic plan is clear and understandable. The proposed mission and vision reflect what matter most to the district, and the strategies outlined in the plan will help the district achieve its stated goals.
Can I ask a question? Do you know the sample size?
Oh, I would have to look.
Okay.
I would have to look. Let me get back to you.
Thank you.
So I know that's a lot of background. So in this next slide, I think we'll start moving on to kind of the guiding framework a little bit more. So the meat of the plan. The development of the framework really grew out of the evaluation and the feedback process and was further informed by an examination of the broader institutional landscape. We recognize key trends like declining enrollments in the K-12 system and an increased focus on equitable outcomes. We noted challenges such as questions on the return of investment in higher education, funding stability, and of course, student basic needs. But we also saw real opportunities and identified things like growth in dual enrollment, non-credit education, in-language instruction, the Promise program, and expansion into baccalaureate pathways as well. With this understanding of the district's landscape and priorities, we were able to thoughtfully refine the mission and the vision statements. So if we could go to the next slide.
So we updated the mission statement. We did that in the context of the various inputs we received, the demographics of our students, the trends, challenges, and opportunities that were just reviewed. And in doing so, there is a lot of similarity with the previous mission statement. For example, we continue to emphasize goal completion, but we do it in a slightly different. While access to education was implied in the previous statement, it wasn't directly stated, it wasn't explicit. Here, it is explicit. It is our mission to deliver accessible education. For we're not only obligated to ensure that we meet federal and state compliance standards, we're dedicated to that charge. It is who we are. So when we think about being accessible, though, we can take it a step further. In the broadest sense of the word, it is clear from where we were 5 years before. When thinking about being accessible, we've expanded access to our communities in ways that maybe we might not have seen before. But the sort of expansion of dual enrollment that's been taking place for these years, the non-credit and adult education expansions in workforce, rising scholars programs that weren't commonplace in the past are now commonplace, Dream Resource Centers commonplace, in language instruction. So in that way, when we talk about providing accessible and student-centered education in the very first line of the mission statement, it's clear that it's in sync with who we are now and what we're doing. We also had in the statement, I think, a desire to be very concrete in terms of the goals that students were achieving. There's the discrete goals that are listed. And while we continue that, we also wanted to recognize that our students come from unique communities with countless educational, career, and personal goals. So we have it worded in a way that may include some specifics that aren't there because our students are that diverse. The mission statement explicitly recognizes now a promotion, the promotion of lifelong learning that is also a part of what we do. So these are some key changes to the mission statement. Next slide. Right. Now the vision statement also very similar. It's shorter. It's about how we see ourselves in the future. And when we compare it to what we had previously, one of the things that we see is that we are striving to help every student achieve their aspirations. Right. So we continue to see a future defined by providing opportunities, but we also include that we will strive to offer the support and resources every student needs to succeed. And that might have been implied, but we wanted to be explicit. It's not just the opportunities, it's support and resources. It's the entire district. It's not just the instructional programs, it's also the support provided from all of our staff and administrators. And also in our vision, while this statement continues the vision of LACCD uplifting lives and strengthening the regional economy, we also wanted to be a little bit more concrete with wording by envisioning the advancement of equitable outcomes for our communities. Okay, next slide.
Well, I'll advance to a few more details about the specific plan, and the plan is actually quite lengthy. Obviously, there's more detail in the report. But again, using kind of the mission and vision as the foundation, the district strategic plan is organized around 5 core goals that will guide the work over the next 5 years. These goals should look a little bit familiar. We retain the same goal framework as the previous plan, which was meant to just help both reflect continuity and commitment to expanding opportunities, closing equity gaps, and strengthening student success. So we'll walk you briefly through these 5 goals. This particular slide outlines goal 1 of the DSP, which is to increase access to higher education across the Los Angeles region. This particular goal emphasizes expanding outreach to both community and educational partners while enhancing access to educational programs that align with student and community needs. You can also see there on the slide some of the key strategies that will be used to help support the goal. For example, broadening opportunities for high school students through dual enrollment and expanding access for non-traditional students via non-credit and in-language instruction. To measure success within this plan, we did take a little bit of a different approach, and this plan does focus on fewer core metrics and includes more college input. For this particular goal, the plan set the core performance. This particular goal has one core performance metric, which is related to increasing in student headcount during the strategic plan period. This particular figure or target was set by gathering colleges' goals and aggregating those results. The intent was to be more inclusive with the goal setting process and to set realistic goals. What's not pictured here, because there's only so much room on a slide, are the supplementary measures. Although the committee wanted to focus on fewer key metrics, in the last plan, for example, we had 69 different metrics that we were tracking. We really reduced down to 11 core performance metrics. But we still didn't want to lose sight of all the other things that we think are important that support this particular key metric. So all of our goals also have supplementary metrics that help support the core metric. For example, for goal 1, to support or learning more about the increase in headcount enrollment, we also will track things like number of first-time students, number of AB 540 students, students who are justice impacted. So there are separate and supplemental metrics that we're also tracking. So we can go on to goal 2.
Yeah, so with goal 2, as you see the way it's organized, very similar. You have goal, you have strategies, and in this case also a single core performance metric. Right. So when we talk about learning environment, there's a number of features there. The first bullet actually contains 2 separate ones, but yeah, we're talking about the facilities. We're talking about the sort of resources that students need to be able to succeed in learning. We also have in there the campus climate with respect to diversity, student services, and whatnot. The metric is a really important one. Persistence from fall to spring is something that all colleges are looking at. It's something we're all measuring. But in the supplementary measures, we also include persistence rate district-wide from primary term to primary term, like from fall to fall. That could be another way in which colleges may want to be, again, looking at their success in the learning enterprise. There's other suggestions or course retention, fall term, number of students enrolled full time, right? So there's a number of very specific, concrete variables that are part of the data work that colleges are doing anyways that they may be emphasizing within their own local plans. Similarly, with regards to students receiving orientation and educational planning, percentage of new students completing those processes are also listed as supplementary measures. When it comes to a number of the other aspects of these strategies, student survey data actually will be very useful. And so one of the things you'll see in the plan is a list of sort of questions that students actually are asked, and that can be data points that some colleges will be emphasizing, and we might want to look at how to identify common trends in those areas. Next slide.
Goal 3, student success and equity, really focuses on increasing student completion rates, the attainment of key academic milestones. To achieve this, some of the strategies suggested included efforts to reduce time to completion, increases in the certificates and degrees awarded, and support more students transferring to four-year institutions. This area has several core performance metrics, including increases in course completion rate, the numbers of certificates and degrees attained, number of students transferring to four-year institutions, as well as measurable progress in closing equity gaps. Some of the supplementary metrics in this area include things like students earning ADTs or completing transfer level math and English within their first year, and even completing 9 or more units of CTE coursework. Next goal.
Thank you. Organizational effectiveness is one of those goals where you know what you want, but it can be really hard to measure, right? So this was one of the areas where in the previous plan we had identified metrics that there just wasn't the data, or it wasn't regular and stuff. So we're really careful with how we envision the strategies that we have listed there. In terms of the core performance metrics, I would say that these were some that, again, maybe isn't capturing everything that's listed there in terms of the goal and the strategies themselves, but definitely have the advantage of being common, right? So there is, again, the survey data that we can rely upon, and that would be like a standard, so it fit the expectation of a core performance metric. But there are, in the supplementary measures, other approaches that we think colleges will be using. One example is the organizational maturity score from the ACCM reports, right? And there's a recent update that's coming out and will get disseminated. So that would be a way of really trying to ensure organizational effectiveness as the goal suggests, right? So that's one example. There's budget for professional development could be looked at, but again, the professional development's really a difficult one to figure out how to measure, and so attention will be given to even some supplementary measures that maybe we haven't identified. So you notice in the wording of supplementary measures for all of the goals, they're suggestive that it could include those, because we want to really be flexible and open to the possibility of other ways that colleges are measuring their effectiveness, and then try to share those effective practices across all colleges. Next slide.
Our last and final goal 5, related to fiscal integrity, emphasizes the importance of maintaining financial stability through strategic revenue generation, resource development, and efficient allocation of existing resources. Some of the strategies include strengthening funding by promoting enrollment growth and maximizing the student-centered funding formula metrics, bolstering district and college foundations, and improving how resources are allocated to more closely align to strategic plans. To monitor progress, the plan includes 3 core performance metrics in this area. They include exceeding the SCIF targets for FTES, full-time student equivalency, maintaining a balanced budget with an annual surplus, and sustaining reserves equivalent to at least 2 months of operating revenue. These measures will help ensure the district can remain financially resilient and responsive to evolving institutional needs.
Okay, so just to recap on those different aspects of the plan, what should be the key takeaways? Well, one should be that it is streamlined, right? That we still have the 5 goals, but instead of having 33 objectives for those goals with a whole slew of metrics, we have 11 core measures. So it's really much more focused, and it should be the case that we will be able to deliver on effective measurement across the board of what we're identifying. So it's much more the case that we're going to rely upon what's actually taking place at the college level, right? So, the targets for the core measures based on college targets, and when it comes to supplementary measures, we're looking at what's coming from the colleges. Still, high quality data sources for each metric, and integration across plans and accountability systems. Next slide. So now let's move on to looking at the implementation. Next slide. So communication, right? So yeah, it's been a feature of the development of the plan and the plan itself that it identifies key priorities, sets up a roadmap. It's one that includes representation from all the campuses and how it's going to be implemented. And it is the case that it's again making use of that uniqueness in terms of the communities as well as what's actually happening in the colleges. But in terms of communication, some of the strategies that we'll want to be spending time with at district planning committee is how do we, in addition to achieving accountability and integration, but how do we get the word out? Right, and part of that is the new mission statement, getting that posted, the new vision statement. Sure, they'll be in college catalogs, but how do we make that come out? So that's one piece of the work of implementation that's on the horizon.
Promise we're almost done. So yeah, in terms of implementation, again, there was three key pillars that we were looking at. The first one was that communication piece that Jeff spoke about. In the next slide, we can see the other pillar is really integration. The DSP is intentionally aligned with state and local priorities, again, including Vision 2030, the Student Equity and Achievement Plan, the Student-Centered Funding Formula, 4 goals in the adult non-credit adult education plan. This alignment ensures that what we're doing is cohesive and prioritizes, and that priorities reinforce rather than compete with one another. It also allows us to leverage existing accountability systems and data sources. On the next slide, we've got our last pillar, which is related to accountability. The DSP is structured as a 5-year plan with annual review and refinement, rather than being a static document. Each year, the DPC will evaluate the progress of the plan's goals and performance metrics and assess what's working and make adjustments based on that data. Of course, based also on emerging conditions and feedback from the colleges. This allows the plan to remain responsive while staying grounded in its long-term objectives. Progress and outcomes will be reported annually to the board through the Institutional Effectiveness and Student Success Committee, ensuring transparency, oversight, and accountability throughout the life of the plan. So thank you so much. We definitely appreciate the board's attention and partnership in this work. And of course, we welcome any additional questions.
Great. Thank you so much. Do we have questions?
I think I hold back. That's okay. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. I had the pleasure of sitting through it twice because we're on IESS. So thank you, Millie and Jeff. I know it's not easy to present to the board and really appreciate it and appreciate the hard work. And I also want to thank the entire team. I know their names weren't listed here, but I know you let us know who they were during IESS. So thank you. And thank you, Mr. Pearl. I just have one quick comment and then I'll ask if there are any questions. Can we engage Juliet and her team in terms of like marketing and communications? Because I think it's really important to make sure that the mission statement and the vision statement is everywhere. I know sometimes it's hard to get used to a new mission and vision statement. We're always told we have to memorize it at my campus where I work. So if we engage Juliet and her team, I think that would really help.
Great idea, thanks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I will call on you, student trustee. Colleagues, do we have any other questions or comments? And
Yeah.
I'll start with you,
I
student
just
trustee.
have clarification on the first two slides, might be the third slide, of where you were talking about the increase of students taking courses. I want to see, is that the third slide? I couldn't pull it up here, so I was trying to figure out where.
Slide related to goal 3, which would be slide maybe 18. I don't know. This is a guess.
Yeah, it was in the beginning. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, so it says the first 3 bullet points will increase students' persistent successful completions to effective practice in classroom services. Okay, so we would decrease the completion to enhancing. What do you mean by we would decrease the completion? Can you clarify that for me?
It's decreasing time to completion.
Yes.
So one of the most effective strategies, or I should say practices for that strategy is to have more effective enrollment management. So you're scheduling courses so that conflicting, so students can take the courses they need within a single semester, move on, single semester, as opposed to, oh, there's a conflict with my math course, and now I'm going to have to wait a whole other semester. So the whole idea is to really make it so that students aren't in situations where then some semesters they're taking extra courses that they don't really need because the ones that they do need, there's a conflict, right? So it's a more careful enrollment management is one way to decrease time to completion. It helps them save money, but also helps them get to the goal that they want.
Okay, so when you say decrease, now are you implementing? Because I have students that, like you just said, with that problem, we have a lot of students that are on that. Hey, I have to go to financial aid to do an extension, right? Now, is that to derivate that problem, or is that a separate entity that we're talking about right now?
Well, partially what I think too is that we want to make sure that students are able to complete the degree as quickly as possible in order to meet their own goals. I guess the idea behind or the intent behind that measure is to make sure that students are able to graduate on their own timeline and as quickly as possible.
And then with that being said, because technically, like you said, what does that have to do with the extension now? Because like you said, we get a withdrawal, you will have to wait that semester, right? With the semester coming about, and then your financial aid emails you like, hey, we're no longer giving you financial aid because you satisfy your 150% of your 60 to 90 degree courses. Does this, my question is this a pro or con for the problem my students are having with the extension of financial aid due to them not happen to graduate within the 2 years?
That's a really good question for, I think, the committee to look at when they're considering what's happening on the ground in the different colleges. The strategies here were more high level, but you bring up a very specific example that we need, I think, to be looking at. Thanks.
And I know that each college has their own plan as well. And so I think the district strategic plan is really just like a very high level view of where we want to be as a district.
Correct.
And so you are asking excellent questions that could probably be answered at the individual campus level or at the financial aid
Okay,
level.
sounds great.
Yeah,
And then my second question will be when you say increase the completion of degrees and certificates, can you clarify that as well for me? The third bullet.
Yeah, well, there's a number of barriers that students may face, and so idea is to reduce those barriers, right? Sometimes it has to do with providing the sufficient support in terms of like co-requisite support, curriculum support. Sometimes it has to do with the tutoring and supplemental instruction support that students may be needing. So those are some ways of trying to help students succeed and get the higher grade, and then they have a higher likelihood of actually completing on time. We have a lot of students who they get started, but then other barriers kick in. So, a lot of that has to do with basic needs. We have a lot of initiatives there, but the goal here is just basically to do what we're doing, but to increase the results for more students.
Okay, and then you say when you increase, we're increasing the number of the units that require to graduate?
Oh, no, this is to
Okay.
increase the number of completions. We mean more degrees. That means more people at graduation, more certificates. So in other words, there'll be more students who are actually graduating because there's more students who actually completed what they needed to for the degree. So when we talk about increased completion, we mean more students are succeeding.
Correct. Okay, that's just what that means.
Yeah.
How we find more ways to succeed at the graduation line. Got you. Okay.
Thank you. Trustee Henderson?
Thank you for the presentation. I want to thank you for being intentional about streamlining, but also being really intentional about what the goals look like in relation to how the goals are fulfilled and monitored, overseen, and the metrics, because that's what's really important when we're answering questions like this from the student trustee. What is it that we're actually looking for, and what are we doing to support students and meeting these goals? So thank you very much for that.
Trustee Eno?
Yeah, I just had a question and possible recommendation for the actual document itself. You did in Appendix D, in the actual report, you give us an update about the 2018 to 2023 outcomes on what you've achieved, didn't achieve, but improved or weren't able to do. I was wondering if it'd be possible to add an additional column to just let us know what's ongoing for this next 5 years. Or if all of it's ongoing, that's fine. I just wasn't sure because I think helpful just from looking at it, it's just helpful to know which ones maybe are continued for the next 5 years, if possible.
We definitely should look at that in terms of the first annual report that will be the work of the district planning committee this year. So that, one of the things I think we're talking about involves like a crosswalk between the two. So that might be a bit challenging, but we could look at it and see, hey, well, maybe if it can be done, at least for some of the things that we're continuing on, that would be
ongoing ones would be helpful.
Yeah. And in some cases, the data, it is the same data points. And so it should be possible to do that, I think, in some
Or if
cases.
the metric goals had changed in variation in the
Mhm.
percentages, it just for context, I think it helps show the work that we've been doing continuously. So
Yeah,
thank you.
That makes sense. Thank you.
President Hernandez, do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I just had a question in terms of when are you planning that annual review? Is there a date set?
Well, I mean, we have plans to report annually. It will be at ISS. And, that's actually going to be first order of business at our next meeting. So, we got to plan out quite a number of things related to that. So I don't have a specific.
Yeah, but like roughly, would it be like next January?
Yeah, I would think so. If it's on an annual basis,
So it would be the reason why I'm asking is I'm just wondering if it might be good. If I love how I also agree. I love that these goals were streamlined because it's easier to then kind of focus. But it's specifically on the student success and equity, is it possible to do like a mid-year review just to high level to see where are we at on those metrics?
Yeah, it would likely that we would have to plan the presentation around when new data becomes available for the academic year. So after that data becomes available, then we can kind of schedule accordingly and have those dates.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to go to Trustee Vella and then Vice President Perez.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vice President Hoffman. I really also agree that the presentation obviously is indicative of just a lot of hard work. And I know that there was a lot of capturing of, our culture here at LACCD and what has changed. And for sure, for me, it's about how are we going to translate just, I think for me, and I think, how I look at technology in the new version of technology, I don't look at it as like the radio and the television. I look at it as like robotics. I look at it as AI. I look at it as and, from 3D building of housing to, being the best at telling AI what to do to perform your job is really what is going to be the future. And how our students are going to fit into a regional economy, as you mentioned, there is going to be very important, I think, within not just 24, 29. I think like now, like by the time 29 comes, I think everything's going to change. I really do. And I just want to make sure that I know in one of your slides you had challenges, that one of them was AI. I know you referred to the faculty that, you know, because you had your seminar I attended. I'd rather have it also on the other side where it said AI as a tool. And just building upon that. And by the way, I completely recognize that you guys know about this because I've been, you know, listening to every podcast on how this is going to change higher education completely. You saw the governor that's part of the reason they're making these moves. I think that there is a real kind of like bubbling up of something that, you know, our students are going to probably have to, whether we like it or not, are going to come out and be like, okay, what do I do with my certificate? What do I do with my 2-year degree? Am I going to blend into these job sectors in this, again, mentioned the regional economy here in LA, all these like small Silicon Valleys that are popping up everywhere in LA County, like Santa Monica, like Culver City. It's no coincidence that obviously a lot of people aren't being public about it, but like you can see it, you know, so I want to commend this report. I mean, this plan, to be honest, it's really good. And I like the streamlining of it. And as you move forward, I know we're not approving it today, right? Are we? Oh, Lord. Okay. I have trust. I have trust that you get my gist today on this issue. And I just want to continue to, you know, think about fast pace. I'm really you know, understanding of what we can do for our students to help them. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, I just also would like to draw attention that for a goal 2, learning environment, one of the supplemental measures is it regards to AI policies and procedures. So it's on the radar, but still, you know, we're not where we would like to be, but we will get there soon, and we'll be ready to, I think, report out on that to the extent that we have something to report out, you know, from the colleges.
Trustee Veras, and before you speak, I just want to thank you for chairing IESS this past year. I think we had probably one of the best years in IESS because we really got to see all the good work that everyone is doing and had some really robust reports come to us about program success and programs that are struggling, and we got to review the district strategic plan. So I just want to thank you for your leadership.
Well, thank you, Trustee. It's obviously their work. We just get to listen and comment. You know, I know we had a nice conversation inside of the committee, and we certainly recommended this to be approved. One of the sort of ongoing challenges is how we ensure the quality across the board through all 9 of the schools and sort of the pace. And so we can get to the sense of if a student's enrolling at East, it's the same level and quality and experience that they would have at Valley or Pierce or wherever. You know, in the past, we've utilized dashboards and we, you know, try to track in those spaces. But of all the really critical and important goals and outcomes that we want to see happen, what would you assess as, or sort of the biggest and most like if there was a number 1 track across the board that maybe could be a prognosticator of we need to help a school or not move forward or deliver more? Because I want to take it as we're going to meet the students where they're at, wherever they're at. But if they come to us, they get the same quality of expectation and enrollment and experience. But if there's one in all these things, what would you say? How would you assess? And as we move forward with this plan, we know this is, you all do this not just every 5 years, you do this every day, all the time. And so I know the conversations that we're going to continue to have in terms of progress is going to be in that committee on a very consistent basis. But if there was one of all the things that were there that would be the measurable that sort of leaks into the other ones, what do you think that would be?
Wow. you know, I'd have to say that I will be better able to answer that after we have those discussions from the different colleges, right? So that's the thing is that, part of what we're recognizing is that we do have some common baseline measures, the core performance metrics. And then colleges will be emphasizing those supplemental measures differently, right? And so part of what I think we're going to find out is priorities that are coming from colleges that are going to help us, again, get to the kind of questions that you're raising, which is actually a really good question.
And I'll say this, and I mean to, like, I've always put a lot of value in persistence.
Yeah.
For example, as a statistic is an important stat. I don't know if that's one that helps measure, but if there's one or a couple that sort of, because I think what we want to do is be able to pivot quickly.
Yes.
When we're not providing the same level of service to students at any one of our schools, and that we can provide and this is part of being in this district, in the system, where we can sort of mobilize and assist to ensure that there is no difference between a student at any one of our schools and the experience they have and the kind of quality of the experience they have. So I like persistence sometimes because it's one measure across the board, and but there's a bunch, right?
But
and I don't know what that is. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot can inform choosing that one or top three, because, colleges, right, are having to also address the same questions when it comes to their equity plan, right? So there could be, again, certain priorities that really stand out for certain colleges that will shape, well, we would favor this instead. And so I think, again, we got to have those conversations and really get a sense of what to, we hadn't even talked about the idea of prioritizing like certain areas the way you described. That's, I think, a good strategy to consider.
Well, thank you.
Chancellor, did you want to add anything?
Other than to thank again the team, this is a well put plan together. I know it was, a lot of work that took place. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This will be our sort of our guiding context and framework for the 5 years to come. So thank you so much on behalf of the entire team. Appreciate it.
Mr. Pearl, Dr. Pearl.
If I just may conclude, I really do, I know this is something that you all said, but I really do want to commend the work of the District Planning Committee, our EPI staff, and especially Jeff and Millie for their leadership in the development of the plan. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the committee of the whole is now adjourned, and I'm transferring the gavel back to President Hernandez for the regular board meeting. Thank you.
Great. The regular board meeting will come to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Boulna.
Here.
Trustee Henderson.
Here.
Trustee Hernandez.
Here.
Trustee Hoffman.
Here.
Trustee Eno.
Here.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Here.
Student Trustee Francis.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We will now turn to Chancellor Roman for the report.
Thank you so much. We have two wonderful presentations. I know you've had one already, and we're gonna kind of be challenged to top that one. But let me start with one we have regarding our 2025 accomplishments. If we can get that one up, and then we're gonna close out with a bang with Valley College and their presentation on the program. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide here. Thank you so much, Crystal. All right, if we can go to slide 2. So 2025, we know that we were not short on challenges. The year started with the wildfires, immigration raids, loss of federal funding. But I'm going to say this, despite all those challenges, I'm proud of the fact that the board, this board, our administration, our faculty, our staff remained really steadfast in supporting our students. We were very bold at the beginning and continue to be bold in declaring our support, not only for our students, but our entire communities as they're being targeted by a particular race, by a particular color, type of job, language, and whatnot. We have continued to say that we are going to be the institution that welcomes students from all walks of life. We're going to be the safe haven where they can come get an education without having to fear, being detained. We cannot guarantee that, but we have done everything we can within our power to ensure that our students feel safe. 2025 focused on improving efficiencies in district operations under the leadership of Dr. Alba Lopez and the entire executive team, we have began to assess processes, improve processes, make shifts so that we support our colleges in the way they deserve to be supported. So I'm glad of all the work that we've done in 12 months, really, to be moving in that right track. There is a lot of work to be done, but I think, again, the first 12 months are indicative of what's to come in terms of making our programs and our departments more efficient. We declare that we are going to be transparent. We're going to have consistent communication. We're going to collaborate with everyone, including our stakeholders, and we are going to hold ourselves accountable, starting with myself. So this is the goals that we declared in 2025, and I think we've done significant progress within the context of these goals that I will share with you today. If we can go to the next slide. Basic needs was at the forefront. And again, this board was visionary in declaring that basic needs would be an initiative that this district would take on. But I also want to thank the college presidents and their teams in establishing the basic needs centers at every one of our colleges. This is something that the board had envisioned and that all of the colleges have indeed executed. In addition to that, we have bolstered the need for our basic needs. We are now partnering with new entities like Kroger. We have the regional food banks that are providing additional support. We are resourcing the basic needs centers with additional funding and staff to ensure that our students are getting those basic needs met. We are not short of need, colleagues. We have about half of our students that have declared some food insecurity at some point. We have 25% of our students who at some point have been homeless. Not house insecure, but homeless. So there's plenty of work that we're doing, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to commend the district over the work that's happened in the last 12 months and our college presidents and our teams for the basic needs support that our students are now getting. Going on to the next one, please. Student housing, my goodness, Trustee Hernandez, under your leadership, the board, the entire board, we were very bold in saying we are going to do something on student housing. And I have to say, we have been in conversations for years about student housing, but in the last 12 months, we took bold steps to take action. What have we done so far? 3 things. Under the leadership of Vice Chancellor Sara, and again, under the direction of Trustee Hernandez and the entire board, we have now entered into a contract with Cal State LA, or in the process of entering into a contract with Cal State LA to lease beds. They have beds, we have a need. We want to send our students there through some articulated agreement. So this is something that we're working on. Our goal is to begin to put students at Cal State LA in the fall of this year. Secondly, thank you, yes. Secondly is acquiring property. We're excited. LA City College, I see our Vice President here, Vice President Carter. We are looking forward to placing 200 to 300 students in our new acquired property that will be pretty close to LA City College. So this will be the second model in which we are taking bold steps to ensure that our students have housing. And the third and probably the biggest step that we're initiating probably in this month, and I see Ann Bowles in the back and the team here, we are actually going to build housing. So Pierce College, President Aguiar is here, will be the first site, and I do say first, of several locations where we plan to put students. We're planning to probably do family style housing as well. And so again, thank you to the leadership of the trustees. Thank you for believing in the mission, and thank you for putting the faith in us to execute this plan. Colleagues, this is the beginning, but all of this work happened within an incredible 12-month period of time. So thank you again, Vice Chancellor Sara, and thank you to the board for pushing this initiative forward. Going on to the next slide. Build LACCD. Let's talk a little more about the work here. And I got some stats today. I'm going to go quickly through them, but I have to just give you some of the data that's happened in terms of accomplishments in 2025. We managed 45 colleagues, active construction projects, and 115 projects in design worth over $1 billion. We recorded over 1 million hours of construction trade hours, worked with the lowest total recordable injury rate so far in the last 10 years, actually, significantly lower rate than the state average. Thirdly, we provided 45 internship opportunities to LACCD students in each of the semesters, with 5 interns converted to full-time work by the construction management firms. I see Ed in the back and Marisela, thank you so much for placing our students into potential career opportunities. We appreciate that. And we weren't short of awards. We received the national, state, and local levels award, including our Public Works Owner of the Year. This was given to us by the American Subcontractors Association. In addition to that, we received the Dream Spirit Award from the National Association of Minority Contractors of Southern California. So kudos to the build team, kudos to Vice Chancellor Sata for continuing to provide state-of-the-art facilities that our students so rightfully deserve. Going on to the next slide, please. So this past year, you might have seen some of this. We strengthened our partnership with LAUSD, including supporting the increase of pathways into CTE. We were very successful in securing dual enrollment MOUs at the middle school, and that is a huge deal. I want to thank Deputy Chancellor Alva Lopez and her team working with LAUSD to secure the MOU for middle school. What this means is that we will now be able to offer more dual enrollment courses to our middle school students with an objective that by the time that they graduate from high school, they either have a certificate and or a potential degree and a high school diploma. So LAUSD is on board with us. We've done amazing work. You'll see we had a press conference not too long ago with them, and Superintendent Carvalho, some of our trustees were able to attend. Thank you, Trustee Hoffman, Trustee Eno, for joining us for that press conference. But again, we're very intentional on the work we're doing with our dual enrollment partners. And I only anticipate the enrollment growing further as we get more classes in front of our middle school students. So kudos to the team. Going on to the next one, please. I can say a lot about our foundations. That would be a whole presentation in and of itself. But I want to highlight two particular initiatives that happened in 2025. Again, talking about the LA fire recovery process through the leadership of Director Kelly King. You may remember I mentioned this. We secured $4 million through the LA Strong Disaster Response Fund that went primarily to students and to employees. In addition to that, we actually also supported 2 additional colleges outside of LACCD with recovery efforts. So again, meeting the needs of our students, meeting our needs of our community, and ensuring that we pivot and we're prepared to respond to emergencies through the leadership of the district and of course through our foundation. The second point here that I want to make, and I'm excited about this, is that again, through the foundation, we actually secured a grant through Lowe's, $500,000. This is working with President McQuarters and the Trade Tech team to actually have some of our students build homes for folks that were victims of the Pasadena or the Altadena fire, colleagues. So our students are actually going to be building homes at Trade Tech. And I see Professor Ellerton here. I'm going to put that hat on you. I know you have like 30, but so this is exciting to have our leadership actually be involved in the recovery process. We will be out there next week. You've received an invitation, trustees, to join us for a press conference there, highlighting the important work that we're doing. Again, starting with the foundation and the vision of Kelly King. So again, thank you, Kelly King and the foundation, for your support as well. Thank you so much. Going on to the next slide. I want to, this is important to us, you know, as we declare the importance of culture, the importance of identity, the importance of community. Through, as you know, there's a BSI bill that was assigned by the state. We did apply for designation of Black serving institutions. And I'm proud to say that 4 of our colleges so far, and I do say so far because there's more to come, have indeed been given the designation. So I want to congratulate East LA College, Trade Tech College, West LA College, and Harvard College. I know a couple of more colleges have applied. And in addition to that, we also have a national recognition for Black serving institutions for Southwest College. So again, colleagues, this is the first step. We want funding behind the designation, but the designation in and of itself is a clear, bold statement that we are supportive of our communities, and they do indeed value, respect, and honor our African-American Black communities in Los Angeles. So more to follow on this, but this is, again, an important step that took place in 2025. So moving on, please. I'm going to go quickly on some of these. We already talked about the enrollment recovery. LACCD continues to be in the upward bound in terms of enrollment. For winter, we saw significant gains of all of our colleges. The spring numbers look really, really good. So again, kudos to the college presidents, to their teams, the outreach team, the financial aid, A&R, you name it, everybody has been putting in work to ensure that we recover the enrollment that we lost pre-pandemic and during the pandemic. Enrollment in the area of non-credit, CT, and dual enrollment continues to go up, and these are areas that the college presidents and the teams continue to focus on. Moving on to the next slide, please, Lupe. You know, when I took this job a year ago, I was worried about our budget, and I had conversations with some of our trustees in terms of significant deficits. We work very closely with the teams. The college presidents did amazing work to work with their own stakeholders. And we're proud to say that in the 24-25 year, we actually balanced our budget. And again, that's not short of the amazing work of all of the college teams who really spent a lot of time working on ways to make sure that their balances were all in the black. So I want to give kudos to them. Clearly, we lost federal funding to the tune of about $6 million of the 30, but that didn't stop our ability to continue to support our students across all of our 9 colleges. Some of the funding is geared towards low socioeconomic students, students of color. So we know the importance of this federal funding, but I also have to say that you know, that did not hinder in any way the college's ability to continue to support our students, particularly our undocumented students, DSPS students, and other students who relied heavily on the programs that are funded through the federal government. So that will continue to be a commitment that we make, that despite the fact that we may see additional federal reductions, we will make sure that the support that our students receive through these funds continues going forward. So thank you again, and kudos to our president and their teams. Let's go on. So we talked about the district, the district strategic plan. We just had a presentation on it. I was very intentional when I came on to make sure that everything aligns well, and there's a good crosswalk between the strategic plan and the board goals, my goals, and the president's goals. So you might have seen the document. We've gone through it in our initial conversation around how all of our goals align. If you take the district strategic plan and look under goal 3, which is the area that student trustee Francis was focusing on, it aligns very well with the work that we have been doing. It aligns well with my goals. It aligns well with the president's goals, and clearly with the college's goals. So I'm very, very happy that we have aligned everything. We're moving in the same direction together. There are no silos, and we're clearly intentional about what's most important to our students. So again, that's something that we will continue to do. It's important that we're working as a team. Both district and college level teams are aligned in our purpose, our mission, and our goals. In addition to that, we stabilize our leadership. I want to thank the board for continuing to support decisions that we're making both at the executive level and the leadership level. We have not had lapse in operations despite transitional changes, and I appreciate the fact that people are stepping up to take on these leadership roles. A lot of changes in 2025, but I appreciate the fact that we have a solid team going forward into this year. Going on to the next item, please. Probably I've had a lot of positive things happen in 2025, but I love going to the colleges and connecting with students. And I want to thank the college presidents for opening their colleges to me. I had an opportunity to go to every single one of our colleges and hear the stories of these students that attend the colleges, stories that resonate with my experience, with the experience of many of us being first generation, coming from a low socioeconomic status, being immigrants, being undocumented. And so to me, that was probably the most powerful experience I've had. I had a chance to connect with all of our 9 college presidents while I was there, hear their vision, talk about goals, and actually visited some key and unique programs that each of them have at their colleges. So this was a great opportunity. Again, I appreciate, and a lot of by the way, a lot of the students are actually emailing me and following up. I promised them all letters of recommendations, and I promised them that I can help them in any way possible. And they're not shy about emailing, let me tell you. So I appreciate that. No, don't apologize. It's actually, it's neat to know that our students do follow up. So thank you, student trustee Francis, as well, for supporting this. Going on to the next slide, please. Listen, we are on the map. We are getting out there. We're connecting with folks. We're finding ways to extend LACCD's voice and the voice of our students. I've had an opportunity to really connect with a lot of folks in Los Angeles. You'll see some of the photos there. But again, my primary purpose in this is to ensure that folks know LACCD is here. LACCD is doing great work. LACCD is the premier community college system in the nation, and LACCD is one of the most diverse and the largest community college of the system. So I appreciate the work that we're doing here. We've connected with Mayor Bass. Just recently had an opportunity to connect with Chancellor Frank from UCLA. And you see some other photos there, State Chancellor Christian and others. So again, the idea here is to let folks know LACCD is here and we're ready to partner and support the work that folks are doing, as well as receive support from the city, the county, and the state in terms of making sure that there are opportunities for collaboration with each of them. Going on to the next slide, please. We've also connected with other folks at the city, at the county. We've had opportunities to be in hearings, both at the Senate and the Assembly, again, to elevate and advance the voice of our students, to ensure that folks know that the work that we do changes lives, trajectories, and that we need to get that support from the state and the federal government to continue to advance the work that we do at the local level. I had a chance to be at, I think, 2 or 3 hearings in Sacramento this year. And again, the purpose here is to make sure that we get the support from our legislators, particularly in dire times when funding is being stripped away. So thank you for that. Let's go on to the next slide. Other partnerships, we had opportunities to get in front of the press to tell our story. I have been very intentional about telling my story as a first-generation college student, as an immigrant. And I think that story is really resonating right now as we're seeing our communities being attacked. And I always say to people, you want to know what an immigrant's capable of? Let's start with me. How about that, huh? So I've had a chance to get in front of a lot of people and say, this is what the student profile at LACCD looks like. Brown and Black students, students of color, students who are first in their family to go to college, students who come from low socioeconomic status, students who were parents like me going to school, working full-time and having a family. So that story is resonating. You'll see later in some of the press and as well as the media outlets that we have been in front of. Going on to the next slide, please. Again, real quick, we have made several presentations at various locations. We are out there telling our story. The top right-hand photo there you'll see was from the league. We did a presentation on Boost. A lot of our trustees were able to make it and join us, but that presentation around basic guaranteed income is resonating with folks. The idea that we can provide some income and allow our students to focus on their studies. The research shows that there is a higher persistency and completion when students don't have that barrier of the finances. I won't go through all of these, but you can see here clearly that LACCD in 2025 was out there at various locations, ACRO, Chamber of Commerce, HAKU, the League, BISFED, and so forth. So again, thank you for all of our teams for being out there and representing the good work of LACCD. I appreciate it. It went from national to state as well as to local all across California. So let's go on to the next slide. Again, we're excited, colleagues. This is an opportunity we have. We met with LA 28. Trustee Eno, you were there with us. We are following up on opportunities around the Olympics, either being a practice site or having opportunities for events in our state-of-the-art facilities. That's something that we're working on this year, but we started the conversations last year. Our presidents were there when we met with LA 28, and we hope that out of this, we'll end up with a couple of partnerships in the near future. Moving on, please. So this is just a sense of the media that we got last year. And so you'll see that we were all over the map. I understand that the actual value of this is around $130 million if we were to pay for advertisement. All of that was done through the leadership here, through our Director of Communications and External Affairs, putting us out there and pitching our story of LACCD to the entire media community. So more to come, but we had podcasts. We were in local news. We were in regional news. And so again, the idea is to let people know LACCD is here. Our students are here. We need your support. We need your collaboration, and we're ready to partner with you. Going on to the next slide. Yes, Ms. Hidalgo's here, and thank you. She was key to all this, and she was key to this. We now have a new logo. I already see some stickers out there. If you have a sticker of LACCD, raise it up. Oh, okay, look at our VPs representing. Colleagues, the logo was intentional. The colors were intent. You know, there are 9 colors in the letters that represent our 9 colleges, from the valleys to the mountains to the beaches. So thank you again, Director Hidalgo, for leading these efforts. We're branding this. This is actually buying us a lot of branding power. And of course, there's a lot of opportunities ahead for us in terms of how we're going to brand the district and the colleges. So again, congratulations and thank you for supporting this. Moving on, just a couple more slides. First time in a long time. I don't know if we've had one, but I took it upon myself to really put out a state of the district this year. We did it in person at East LA College, and then talk about really our vision for the current year, our vision for 2026, an opportunity to connect with folks, an opportunity to actually roll out our logo. So thank you to those that were able to be there. Trustee Vela and Trustee Eno, I think you were both there. I appreciate you being there. I know others were not able to make it, but I appreciate the support from the entire board as we lay out the priorities for 2026. Going on to the next slide, please. So again, strategic plan, goal 3. This is what I'd love for us to focus on for 26. Transfer completions, persistence, retention, and equity gaps. We have done significant work in enrollment. We are in a place where I believe we've stabilized our enrollment and we will continue to make significant gains. But the focus now has to be on making sure our students not only get to the college, but that they complete, that they transfer, that they persist, and that we work on those equity gaps that have been with us for years. We have not, and I don't feel comfortable as a chancellor saying that we have made significant gains in closing equity gaps. So we met with the presidents. I want this for the first time to be a district-wide initiative where all of us together, all 9 colleges are on the same page, pushing forward on these initiatives with resources and support with the District Academic Senate, with our labor partners, everybody pushing towards these initiatives. We are losing students after 12 months. So we spend all this time and effort and energy to get them here. The question is, why are they leaving? So we're going to have a series of retreats in the spring that will include our vice presidents, our deans, and we're including our faculty. We're going to ask our department chairs to be part of these conversations, to be part of the solution, to give us their best thinking, to be involved with us as we figure out a strategy of how to make a significant improvements in the areas of transfer completion, persistence, retention, and closing the equity gaps. Next slide, please. So trustees, colleagues, this is the work of 12 months. And I want to thank the entire board. I want to thank our presidents, our faculty, our staff, our stakeholders for being partners with us as we made significant gains in the year 2025. More to follow, you know where we are in terms of our next steps and our vision for 26. And we look forward to reporting to the board in 12 months, the accomplishments that we make in 2026. So with that, that is my report. I will go to the Valley College report in a minute, but I'll stop here to see if you have any questions.
Chancellor, I don't have any questions, but I want to commend you for the work that you've done because, you know, it's not easy stepping into someone else's role. You know, you had no idea of what was going on before. And I think you stepped in with grace and with integrity. And I am really, really pleased. And I commend you for the work that has been done and how you are really making a concerted effort to join us as a district and not have our colleges work in silos, because that's how we're going to achieve success overall. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Trustee Henderson.
Yeah.
Student trustee.
Yeah, I want to pick back what she said. I mean, like with you being on the board, I mean, it's definitely amazing. Just keeping the work as the work. It's just amazing how you come in here and get work done, right? A lot of people can't get work done, and you're getting work done. So I commend you on that. Just a comment I want to make sure. I know you want to make sure make sure everybody's voice was included on why our students wasn't after 12 months. The decrease. My main thing I would want you to focus on is my counselors within our our campuses. Our counselors are our hand one-on-ones, our counselor and our transfer centers, one-on-one, our career centers, one-on-one, OSS department, one-on-ones. Those are very important departments with our most students as well, right? Very important departments of making sure that if anything, if you have the power, make it mandatory for them to come, because their voice is the branch, is the tree of it, right? They really are one-on-one with our students on those campuses that are going through day-to-day lives that we don't get to see. So my request is to make sure the counselors are involved and making sure the programs that represent the students really in need are involved, to make sure that voice is really counted for. So moving forward, they can't say, we didn't know, well, I could have said this and did that differently. Give them that platform to make sure that this is their platform to speak to you directly.
Yes, duly noted. And yes, we will definitely involve our counseling teams. They're critical to
Yes.
the mission. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
President
Yeah, Trustee Veras.
the question, Chancellor, the Boost program.
Yes.
Did we get a chance to sort of dig into data on the Boost program? I know some of it is trying to extend it, and I think we've known the sort of answer we've seen other places, but what kind of data can we talk about and talk to the public about?
Thank you for that. Very important question. So preliminary data, and I'll ask Director Kelly real quick to come up. Preliminary data showing positive results at Trustee Vettis with regards to more completions. But we do have a partnership with an actual institution that's doing a full-blown study on this. Director Kelly, quickly, do you want to chime in here?
Thanks for the great question. So the amazing thing is we have a true randomized control trial. The wonderful thing is we're going to be able to know what the impact of these payments are. The downside is the excellent research team at UPenn is going to make us really do the hard work of crunching that. And so the interim report comes out in May 26th and the final report in May 27th. We were accepted to AERA, the National Association of Research, or whatever the correct acronym is. So there will be some extra data coming out in April of this year.
So far, we're seeing positive, but we want to get the concrete results, and we will definitely get that out as we pitch to funders for the Boost 2.0.
Perfect. Thank you.
Trustee.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for your report, Chancellor. Obviously, it was robust and a lot accomplished in a year. So I do want to kind of follow up. That's the first time I've heard that our students are leaving us after 12 months. I mean, I know sometimes they leave after a semester or 2 semesters, but that 12-month mark kind of stood out for me. So can we get some data on that? I think it's really important. And secondly, I want to thank everyone. I know you led your team and the college presidents and this district over the last year, but there were employees that had suffered incredible losses. I don't want to call you out, and still found it within them to come to work and to help our students and to help other employees in this district. Some people were, putting their own lives at risk in terms of ICE, and others lost their homes. And I just really want to commend everyone for coming together. It was a really tough year, and for really just rising to the occasion, because we're all better for it. So thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Yes, totally agree.
Thank you. I'll just add, I agree with what everything everyone said here today. I think serving as board president this past year, there was definitely a lot going on and a lot of challenges that Chancellor Rahman had taken on as interim and as permanent chancellor. And I just want to thank you, as well as the staff, faculty, students, community, everyone, because I think we all really had to lean in under some really unprecedented times. And it took us away from some of the work that we had to do, but by seeing the strategic plan, we know that we're on track. We know what our purpose is, and we stuck to it while enduring all this craziness and likely the craziness that we'll continue to endure. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, and hopefully we can institute some really strong policies and continue to fight to protect our students and our community. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to echo everybody else's sentiments. It's good to have, I just really appreciate the strategic plan today and just laying out what we have ahead and just on, the housing front, since I've been really focused on that. I really want to thank you for pushing this forward. We couldn't have done that without you in this role. And very excited about the work ahead. And thank you to the staff, Dr. Sada, and all the work that you've done. We are all rowing in the right direction. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and President Hernandez, I just kind of briefly want to mention that, what's really interesting about last year was that we had a federal government that didn't want to celebrate our diversity. And at the same time, we had to deliver these services. And I think it's not lost on me how Chancellor Roman came into this role and was able to toe the line, still be able to, for better lack of words, be in at the same time not say that, hey, we're not working with the federal government, and that was really, really tough. So Chancellor Roman, I know I was big on making sure we refreshed our image and all of that, but I really have to commend you for being able to work in an environment that I don't think I've seen in a long time. So how you manage that, the relationships you have with your counterparts at all the school districts, the mayors, the cities. It was to tell you the truth, it was, as chair of public affairs, really important for me, because it made everything easier for us to get that legislation done. But I really want to commend you for that piece, and I want people to understand how difficult it was. Sometimes we were afraid. I don't know if you remember, we were afraid to say certain things at committee. I know at the LGBT committee we were doing that as well, just kind of like watching ourselves. So anyway, I really wanted to point that out for people that probably weren't working with you so closely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, with that, one last presentation, President Hernandez, I know we're presentation heavy, but they're very important. We're gonna close out with the bank. So I'm gonna ask President Grivens to come up. We have a wonderful presentation today about the Los Angeles Valley College Rainbow Pride Center. So welcome, President Grivens.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As the chancellor was saying, all 9 colleges have amazing programs. And as Trustee Vela and other folks were just saying, we lean into diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism at a moment in time when others in higher education shy away. At Valley College, we absolutely love our programs. We are laser focused on goal number 4. Everyone remembers goal number 4 from the chancellor? Reduce equity gaps. He was testing us all the other day. We lean into that goal at Valley College specifically. There is no group of students who show disproportionate impact on all 5 of the state's measures. No group of students. And the largest magnitude of disproportionate impact is for our first generation students completing transfer level English and math in the first year. And it's only just over 100 students. Almost half of our students are first generation students, and it's only just over 100 students. We are really close to that goal of eliminating disproportionate impact. And it's because of the amazing programs that we have at Valley College, just like all the other 9 colleges. I'm absolutely delighted to present or introduce to you today Nat Guerrero, who is the counselor coordinator for our Rainbow Pride Center, an absolutely beautiful exemplar of these rich, wonderful supportive programs. Nat.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation. Like President Gribben said, I'm Nat Guerrero, pronouns are she, they, and I'm the counselor coordinator at Valley College. And I'm also the faculty liaison for the district for LGBTQ affairs. So I will be talking about my work in both areas, and hopefully, share the wealth, share the knowledge. Next slide, please. All right, so some of our comprehensive services that we have at the Rainbow Pride Center, they're very holistic, because that is just the way we do things. And what can a student expect when they come and meet with us? We use two frameworks when we meet with the student. We use unconditional positive regard because many times these students are going to be very nervous, they're going to be experiencing a lot of anxiety. And so we make sure we build quick rapport with students. And then we offer academic counseling. But many times the students may not be as strong academically. And so we do operate with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is where basic needs comes in. This is where the health center comes in. This is where referrals to Medi-Cal and CalFresh. And so making sure that the student is equipped with the proper services for them to succeed at Valley and beyond. What do I mean by with beyond is services such as Department of Rehab. About half of our students do have some type of disability. So making sure we connect them to SSD and connect them to Department of Rehab, which will follow them when they transfer. Next slide, please. And I will say that some of the unique aspects of Valley College is the campus-wide collaboration, campus-wide care. And I would say this is very unique to the campus because we do have strong collegiality and we do, equity and inclusion are at the forefront of everything that we do. Some of the collaborations that we do is Northern California trips. This is a event where we take students to, on a university tour in collaboration with Dream Resource Center, Basic Needs, Puente Program, and our queer students. We want to make sure that the students envision themselves at these four-year institution, like, hey, I belong here, even though I'm undocumented, LGBTQ, first gen, I see myself here. And so making sure we take them, they step foot at Berkeley, they step foot at Cal State LA or Long Beach, because we're thinking of success beyond Valley College. In addition, we bring in campus departments like SSD and Department of Rehab, so students can learn about these services, and also to destigmatize applying for and being part of these programs. Strong collaborations with our art department and our Chicano studies department to elevate different identities that students experience. And also, we also participate in parades, right? We have, the West Hollywood Parade, and we have also the San Fernando Valley Parade. So different events that students can feel the community aspect at Valley. Next slide, please. All right. So some of our data breakthroughs include having a headcount of 223 students. That number has since increased. I started summer of 2022 at Valley with 0 students. 0 students, 0 program. And so everything has been built from scratch. At the same time, working with the Department of Institutional Effectiveness and learning how to work and play with data. And because we know that a lot of our students do not feel safe identifying given the political climate. Some want to be seen because of the political climate. And so learning ways to serve our students with surveys. Our students are reporting that they're very happy with our services at the Pride Center. We learned that bisexual students are the highest group of our first students. And so with that, celebrating Bisexual Visibility Day on campus, right? And these are some of the ways that we're addressing the belonging and the safety on campus. One of the interesting projects that we're working on is data from CCC Apply. We received a list of 653 students, and we've so far made contact with 408 students. So that dashboard number is going to increase. And this, sharing the wealth, this is something that I do plan on working with our other sibling colleges and Pride centers to make sure that they're doing the same. Next slide, please. One of our popular events is a holiday mixer. This was our 4th annual event. And we did have about over 100 attendees. We had, we did share a survey with our students. We had positive reviews, and this was an opportunity for students to compete for prizes and be their best self. So we had a great event. Pictured here, we have the House of Balmain, some of our DRC students, some of our career students. We have, professors from other departments. So it is a campus-wide collaboration. Next slide, please. All right, some of the additional work that I do is the work with the district. At the forefront of what we're doing is the LGBTQ Bill of Rights and ensuring that all of 9 campuses have uniform services while also celebrating the unique aspects and attributes of each campus. So we do meet every month in person, making sure that we talk about, hey, what's going on at every campus. Some of the important collaborations that are coming up is a film tour with AIDS Diva. We have a LGBTQ Know Your Rights that's coming up in February. It's going to be a town hall on Zoom where students can ask questions if they're being impacted with their LGBTQ identity, because we know that our trans community is currently being attacked. And planning for lavender graduation and pride parades. So making sure we provide support, and every campus has the necessary tools to succeed. Next slide, please. And that is all. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you so
President
much.
Hernandez?
Yes, of course.
I don't have any questions, but I've been to the
holiday mixer.
The holiday mixer. You guys need to go. It is the funnest, and I love the House of Balmain. All of the drag performers are like absolutely professionals. Like, I mean, like I would probably want to do that once in my lifetime, but I don't think I'd be a good drag queen. I'm a little too big. But my point is that the students really love it, and it's just such a great feeling, but it's also, uniting the campus. And what I notice is you have a lot of straight allies looking in, because it's at the Mosaic Center. And I really love the way that you continue to incorporate allies into your
Absolutely.
program, because it's so important for us to have our allies. So
Absolutely. And I will say that my work would not be possible with the campus support. President Gribbins has been supportive from day one. And so, really like speaking to our other college presidents, is that having a full-time person, whether a counselor coordinator or classified staff present, is going to make a difference. You're going to be able to have these same metrics. We're still growing, we're still learning, but that one person point of contact is so important for our students.
fantastic. I want to do, honestly, a round of applause for Dr. Gribbins and Nat. They have been really killing it. And all the campuses, I want to say all the
Absolutely,
campuses,
all
because
the
I know
campuses.
at our committee are close to all the coordinators, but in particular, like you said, you build it from the ground up. So really impressed. Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm here to honestly share the wealth and share like any strategies with our other campuses as well.
No, they're
So that-
fantastic. They're doing a
Mhm.
great job, the other campuses as well. Yeah, thank you so much. Nat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just a quick
Yes,
question.
Trustee Hoffman.
Dr. Gribbins, how is the Pride Center and Nat's position funded? Is it through C? Is it through the funds that we got through the state, thanks to David Vella and the Ledge Committee for that $10 million? And do we have enough funding to continue?
Yes, so I'm currently paid through equity funding, and 20% of my salary is also paid through the LGBTQ funds.
Okay, great. And that's going to be ongoing, correct?
Yeah. So, Vice President Hoffman, yeah, I just wanted to interject here that the Ledge Committee is proposing, as you know, and Chancellor Roman and I have been working with our Ledge team to make that permanent. But I want to say it wouldn't have happened without all of you, all of the trustees, 4 years ago. So
I would just mention too, Nat's position is a permanent position. It's not a temporary position. So
Okay.
regardless of what funding is available to us, the position's permanent. It's part of Valley College and will remain part of Valley College.
Awesome. Our students are very lucky to have you, so thank you.
And we need some more
Thank you.
tickets for the Pride. Yeah, truck. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
With that, President Hernandez, that concludes the Chancellor's report. And again, thank you for your indulgence, and I appreciate the time, energy, and attention you put to this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We are moving on to item C. We now have for our review the combined consent calendar for items L1 through Y4. These items include consent calendars for Human Resources, Personnel Commission, Academic Affairs and Student Services, Budget and Finance, Business and Facilities. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the combined consent calendar for items L1 through Y4?
Oh, I'll make a motion, but I do want to have one comment that
Yep.
I make, but I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by Trustee Vera, seconded by Trustee Vella. Chancellor Roman, do we have any trustee disclosures to make on the consent?
None on this
calendar?
one. Thank you.
Okay. May I have a roll call, please? Oh, wait.
Make your comment.
We want to make the,
Sure, we can
we
do
can
it
do
after.
the, yeah, we're just
Yeah.
accepting. Okay.
Yes. Student trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Vettis? Thank you.
Yes. So I wanted to uplift two items that we did here on the consent calendar and approve, and I extend my appreciation to staff. First was a dual enrollment with Fenton Charter School. And I know for those up in the valley, it's a smaller sort of charter space, but to know that we're no school district or charter operator is left untouched by this district for a dual enrollment effort. So, you know, if small or mid-size or whatever, I thought that was great, because I know it's a smaller, I've been to the school many times. I know several people who support the school teach there and have some of their children there, but to know that they can actually have the resources to be connected to our district is fantastic. And then the other is just to, you know, thank, I know there's a number of video and sports agreements, and I know we've had some work in the athletics ad hoc committee that sort of talked about initial chat, everything from referee fees to how we deal with some of these standardized processes in the athletic world, and to see, you know, some of this really come to bear as part of our process to facilitate and make easy the work of our coaches and our student athlete experiences there. So thank you for the staff for facilitating and figuring out whatever there was as a barrier, it's no longer a barrier, and is moving forward for to really make the LACCD athletics programs work well. So thank you for all of the follow-up that happened there.
Great. Okay. May I now have a motion to adopt Z1 through Z5?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Eno, seconded by Trustee Veras. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Vettis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Now, may I have a motion and a second on the foundation agreement for item AA1?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Buelna,
I'll second it.
second by Trustee Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno?
Yes.
Trustee Vella?
Yes.
Trustee Vettis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to facilities items BB1 through BB15. May I have a motion and a second to adopt the facilities item BB1 through BB15? Moved by Trustee Buelna.
Second.
Second by student trustee. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
one question though, before we approve. And I know we're doing our dorm furniture agreement. That's just in anticipation of our facilities coming online, right? I just wanted to be sure. I knew we were going to eventually have to do something like that, but just wanted to be sure that that was related and not dealing with anything. It's okay. Fantastic. Thank you. Now we got to do our housing for sure. We got the furniture.
It's interesting. Any other? Okay, roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote?
Yes.
Trustee Boulna?
Yes.
Trustee Henderson?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Vettis.
I just want to quickly just uplift those items since we went through it, but BB1 and BB2, just that we just approved is our resolution of an intent to consider our RFP for housing at Pierce and our resolution to determine the real property, the location at Pierce, which is very exciting. We are underway on this process. Obviously, a lot more to go, but we are starting it. So thank you to staff for all their work on it.
Can I just add, and it's the property off of
Not
Mason. It's
the Little League field.
Thank you.
When
Not
is the
Little League field, just to
groundbreaking?
make it clear.
Gotta say that a
Not
million
the
times.
Little League field.
Groundbreaking supposed to happen.
Thank you, President Hernandez.
The groundbreaking?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I don't know. It's a little bit more time than that.
Okay, I got you.
Just starting the process. This is just the process to put out the RFP, but
Okay.
taken a long time to get here. Okay, moving on, now to item CC. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953C3, which is part of the Brown Act, we are required to make an oral summary of proposed action on the salary schedules or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for all executive level positions as defined in subdivision D of the Government Code Section 3511.1 during the open meeting in which the final action is to be taken. In our case, we need to provide such summary for positions such as chancellor, the vice chancellor, and college presidents. The item now before us is to approve the contract of employment for Dr. Matthew Jordan as interim college president of West Los Angeles College from December 18th, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Dr. Jordan will be placed on step 3 of the vice chancellor and college president's salary schedule and will be entitled to the same health and welfare benefits as are received by other unrepresented administrators, including retiree health benefits. Dr. Jordan will receive a $500 per month per car allowance and is eligible to receive the same salary increases, career increment, and doctoral differential as other unrepresented administrators. May I have a motion and a second on item CC1?
Move to approve.
Okay, a motion made by trustee Hoffman and seconded by Welna O'Veris. Go with Welna. Okay, roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buona,
Yes.
trustee Henderson,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez, trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Great. The next item is to approve the contract of the employment of Dr. Monte E. Perez as college president of East Los Angeles College from January 15th, 2026 to June 30th, 2028. Dr. Perez's salary will be step 5 of the vice chancellor and college president's salary schedule and will be entitled to the same health and welfare benefits as are received by other unrepresented administrators, including retiree health benefits. Dr. Perez will receive the $500 per month car allowance and is eligible to receive the same salary increases, career increment, and doctoral differential as other unrepresented administrators. May I have a motion and a second on item CC2?
Second.
Motion by trustee Welna, second by trustee Eno. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Belna,
Yes.
trustee Henderson, trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Eno,
Yes.
trustee Vella,
Yes.
trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Yay.
Great. Moving on, Chancellor Roman, will you please provide a brief explanation of the next 10 action items?
Yes, thank you, President Hernandez. So item DD1 is the approval of the 24-29 strategic plan. You had the presentation earlier today. So at this point, I'm going to ask for a motion and approval of the strategic plan.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, trustee Welna moved motion, seconded by trustee Eno. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buona,
Yes.
trustee Henderson,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez,
Yes.
trustee Hoffman,
Yes.
trustee Eno, trustee Vella,
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes. Thank you for that. If I can continue, DD 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are board policies that were given to you as first reading last month. We vetted these through our process. We vetted these through the public and through you. So I usually we take them separately. So I'm just going to ask for your approval of these. They are in second reading, and again, we vetted these last month with you. So if there are no questions, I'd like to get a motion in a second and approve on these.
Can we do a motion for a group approval? Is that fine?
So moved.
Okay, so approval, motion for approval, trustee Eno and seconded by trustee Hoffman. Roll call, please.
Is that 2 through 9?
That is 2 through 9.
Oh, nine.
Student trustee Francis.
2 through 9.
Through 9.
So 10 can be voted on separately.
Yes.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yes.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Vella. Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Great. May I have a motion and a second on item DD 10?
I'm so moved.
Second.
Moved by Hoffman, seconded by Eno.
Before we look, can I just ask you a quick question, Chancellor? And I don't know that it actually relates entirely to this item, but only because it's like special compensation. We had, and I'm thinking like Ms. Gordon was out for a number of months, and we had someone as replace her job duties and responsibilities. Is that the kind of thing that falls under this special, or are these these are just like career increments and longevity? And I'm wondering, how do we compensate people that are filling in when someone is out? And I know we have a lot of vacancies right now, and we have people doing extra work.
Yeah.
So are we compensating those people? And is that something that needs to be on a board agenda?
I will speak to the question. This is not related to that,
Okay.
Trustee Hoffman, but the question that you have is a good question. For example, the position of Ms. Gordon and other are classified. We work through the Personnel Commission to get provisional folks into those positions. Most of them tend to be internal, and they do get the higher compensation while they're doing the job.
Okay.
So that's a request to Mr. De La Houssaye and his team. They will then go through the process, and then once we put them in those positions, they are entitled to the higher pay for the position they're filling in.
Okay, and then this is just a little bit of longevity that's on here, and and the degree increments.
Correct, and this is really to correct a CalPERS change in regulations that all districts had to deal with. We talked to CalPERS in depth about how to fix the compensation so that it is indeed creditable. We had a whole team under Deputy Chancellor Alva Lopez look at this. And so the recommendation of the resolution allows us to pay these compensations and make the majority of this pay indeed creditable. So it's sort of fixing that audit request that we got. And this is for unrepresented. We've already, I think we approved the other bargaining units a couple months ago. Last month? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so these are just
Represented,
management.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Student trustee Francis advisory vote.
Yes.
Trustee Buelna.
Yes.
Trustee Henderson.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez.
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman.
Yeah.
Trustee Eno.
Yes.
Trustee Villa.
Yes.
Trustee Vettis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Item EE, notice reports and informatives. Board members, there are 6 notices. No action is required at this time. We will receive. Would any of my colleagues like to make any other announcements or indicate future proposed items for item FF?
Yes. Some
Student trustee Francis?
announcements that I do have is. Okay. So some of my students are asking for more flexibility when it comes to our child development centers. A lot of our parents have infants, newborns, and that's not one of our policies associated at this time being. So I do ask for your support and assistance around that area of how we can still support our family students, our parent students. Students are asking what the president's of the college and the district plan is. we're confused. We don't know if we're going into, are you guys focusing on bringing students back? Or are we focusing going on online? That is the confusion going on right now, because a lot of what we're doing on hands is bringing students in, but then a lot of the students' needs are focusing online. So that is where the mutual dispute was coming at. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Sada. My president is very excited about your commitment of what you're doing on this district level of making sure my students are getting the housing that they needed. I also want to talk about a opportunity presented to me from a defect program. It's within our I'm blanking right now, within our health centers on campus. A defect program for fentanyl has a device that they want to do a pilot on. They're willing to give out free products within our health centers. I did leave it up to the higher ups. Betsy is included in that as well, of what that will look like. I also wanted to new updates that we are working on is Black History Month, as well as our new focus coming up as well. I will be sending out emails to all my board of trustees of the next coming events. So far, it's only for you guys that have not seen at any of my board presentations or on campuses. So I will be forwarding out events for you guys to be participating in and to show your face at. Also, as a general announcement that with our new logo, pins are out. We don't have a pin. Please let us know so we get you some pins on your campus and spread them all out. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We're going to move on to public comment. The First Amendment and the Brown Act guarantee a member of the public the right to criticize a public employee or public official in the performance of their duties. However, speakers are encouraged to focus their comments on issues relevant to the conduct of the public's business rather than private and unrelated matters. Speakers are reminded that the Brown Act and First Amendment do not protect defamatory statements made, which may subject a speaker to personal liability. Are there any members of the public signed up to address the board regarding matters not on the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have, is Rhonda Guess?
Yes, I'm here if you can hear me.
There she is. Okay. All right, Rhonda, you have 3 minutes to speak.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year. In 2003, I left a news position with the Associated Press in Los Angeles to teach at LA Harbor College. I was teaching Journalism 101 and Mass Communications. In one of those early classes, I met a student who was majoring in fire technology. He enrolled in J101, joined the student newspaper, and eventually became editor-in-chief of the Harbor Tides. He held that role for a year. Years later, he wrote to me to say he had become a Los Angeles Police Department officer and that every night at the end of his shift, when he wrote his reports, he thought about the journalism principles we taught: objectivity, clarity, and accuracy. At the time, I just thought, oh, that's so nice. Today, it means much more to me because we never know where our students are going. The student is now an LAPD detective working in school threat assessment and security. His name is Joe Camello. The habits he developed in a journalism classroom, precision with facts, ethical judgment, and are now part of how he protects public safety. That is the mission of journalism education. It's not simply to train reporters who you may find annoying. It's part of a well-rounded education. I am here today because that mission is being eroded at LACD College. Journalism underwent a 5-month revitalization and viability study that concluded in September. Since then, the findings have been used to justify reductions in course offerings yet again, without meaningful engagement with faculty. The upper-level magazine course has been eliminated. Journalism is a sequential Discipline. Students don't reach competitive or transfer level skills after 1 or 2 courses. Sometimes it takes 3 or level 4 or the professional level, but that's okay. I want to be clear that this is not about preserving a single class or assignment. It is about whether this district will uphold the integrity of a program that has served students and the public for almost 100 years. As we approach the Martin Luther King holiday, I'm reminded that Dr. King championed equal access to quality education as a right, that journalists fought for civil rights. And I want to urge the board to please ensure that decisions about journalism instruction reflect not just enrollment snapshots or favoritism or dislike of individuals, but the district's responsibility to cultivate informed, ethical, and capable citizens. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker, we have Tessa Lopez.
She's just provided a written
Written
comment.
comment.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Next is Chris Ozan.
So is it okay to read the letter from
Yeah,
Tessa?
sure. It's up to you. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay, this is a letter that was written by Ms. Lopez. It says, "Dear Board of Trustees, my name is Tessa Lopez. I'm writing you this letter because I was unfairly terminated from my position as a custodian at West Los Angeles College for reporting a serious safety incident where a big rat jumped at me and almost bit my face while I was cleaning my area. I first notified my supervisor on the radio, and she got angry at me for doing that. I informed my union steward, Nathan Lewis, because I was traumatized by the incident and they didn't want to pay me for workers' compensation. The district was informed about the incident after I returned from the 2 weeks the doctor gave me. There was a difference in how I was being treated at work by my supervisor. I can tell the supervisor was hostile towards me. On December 18th, my supervisor gave me a second evaluation, which was a poor evaluation, and falsely accused me of poor work performance and terminated my position. I see this as unjust. I did not do anything wrong, and I want my job back. Thank you for your time, Tessa Lopez."
Thank you.
And I would like to give my time. Can I give my time to Nathan Lewis? Because he's going to be speaking.
He's on the list. He's on the list for a separate topic. Is that what you're saying?
It's
Yeah,
not a,
I think he's on.
He's on the
he can
list.
speak on his own time. There's
Okay.
no need to transfer time
Yeah.
on this. If he'd like to speak, he would just sign up
Got it. Okay.
and speak.
Next we have Vladimir Nemurovsky.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Vladimir Moravsky. I am the general foreman in maintenance and operations at LA Trade Tech. Today marks the 282nd day of my administrative leave, more than 9 months of my life. I won't take my 3 minutes to address the particulars of my case, but I do wish to bring to the board's attention the broken process itself, its delays and lack of transparency, and its real human toll. About this time last year, I was preparing disciplinary action against several employees. I did this hand in hand with the HR department. But before that could happen, the very same employees lobbed false and outrageous claims against me, accusing me of threatening to have someone killed. Colleagues at work at the time shook their heads and laughed out loud. And in the real world, in the world of laws and courts, such accusations would have no standing. But at LACCD, no mechanism seems to exist to dissuade people from just making stuff up. There is simply no downside to doing so. You can cancel your supervisor by using some well-placed keywords from a specific grievance dictionary. I am not the only case. In the last year, I was one of at least 4 separate supervisors at Trade Tech Maintenance and Operations Department alone, removed due to false accusations involving, quote, violence, unquote. It is a crude tactic, and it is that common. And when the accusations are proven bogus, it seems nobody suffers a reprimand. Life goes on as if nothing has happened. I've been sitting at home since April. The investigation was supposedly complete months ago. The investigation itself was marked by clear gaps in process. Key witnesses on my behalf, the people who actually saw and heard, were never interviewed. I have no idea whether the evidence I provided was ever investigated because after multiple requests, I have been provided a copy of the investigative report I'm legally entitled to see under Labor Code Section 1198.5. The HR personnel who had direct knowledge of my case are all gone. 3 separate officers no longer with the district. I have no idea why. There's no one in the office now who has ever met me face to face. I'm just a file now. But I'm not. And that's why I'm here today. I'm a human being, a husband and a father, who's been offered no transparency. And the vile accusation against me has been left to calcify out there in a vacuum, in institutional silence. I'm embarrassed to say it has worn me down. Anybody who knows me at all knows that my work ethic is how I define myself. Being idle, for me, is corrosive. For years, I worried about my wife's chronic insomnia, but now, more often than not, I'm the one who watches her sleep. I asked the board this: please take an honest look at the process and consider some meaningful reforms targeting fairness that does not exclude men and women in management roles. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Do we have someone that can talk to him for follow-up?
We'll be following up on this. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I have a note here to follow up for you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Vidya Swaminathan.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Vidya Swaminathan. I'm the chair of the math department at West Los Angeles College, and I'm speaking on behalf of the West Los Angeles College community against the possible termination of Nathan Lewis, a longtime custodian at West LA College. Dismissals should apply to people who are not doing their job or having unethical behavior. In the case of Nathan Lewis, he's an excellent custodian, but the idea to terminate his employment is based on his complaints about unsafe working conditions with rats on our campus. The college previously tried to dismiss him in June of 2024, but that case was dismissed for lack of evidence. Nathan Lewis has a phobia of rats, which I'm sure many of us do. Thanks to his reporting, the college has been working to limit the rat infestation, but it continues to be a problem. Just as Christian just mentioned, rats are still continuing to jump on custodians when they're trying to clear the trash. And this has happened to Nathan as well. The college is now proposing to dismiss him again, but the reasons that the college has for dismissal seem to be hastily put together. I also want to point out that the timing coincides with the departure of Dr. Jim Limbaugh, who rubber stamped the dismissal on his way out. I ask the board to consider all the letters in favor of Nathan's continued employment. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Nathan Lewis. Is he online?
Yes.
I'm here. I just don't know how to get on.
We can hear you. Hi, Nathan.
Oh, how you doing? How you doing?
Good. You have 3 minutes.
Board members?
Yes.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you now. How you doing today?
Good. 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 You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Dear board members, I am writing to formally object to the handling of my case due to abuse of power, retaliation, and a Skelly hearing that was unfair and violated my due process. Mr. McQuarters knows the policy, but would not let my rep speak. Upper management uses their authority to protect internal relations rather than follow policy or evaluate facts versus colorful narratives. After raising concerns and exercising protected rights, negative actions normally follow. This was my former coworker, Testa. She was fired with no real cause. She was a real great employee until a rat jumped onto her, nearly biting her. She was retaliated against because she was visibly shaken. I wrote a letter to the chancellor to try to protect her from this because I knew it was going to happen. I wrote a long letter to him, and it still happened. My complaints became dismissive. Now we have a young lady dismissed 2 weeks before Christmas. They should be ashamed of themselves. Um, Dismissing me, and they try to dismiss me a few days before Father's Day. So this is like a pattern. This is a pattern. This pattern constitutes retaliation. The hearing itself was compromised. Decision makers with professional relations make it difficult to get a fair shake. The Skelly hearing can't be fair when the person's judgment is connected to the people you're complaining about. Um, a hearing alone doesn't satisfy due process. Fairness requires neutral and independency, which wasn't present with Mr. Quarters. Um, I will request an independent review on my case, and and address the conflict of interest and restore fairness and professionalism. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for your time.
Okay, thank you so much. I believe student trustee Francis, you had another announcement that you wanted to make.
Yeah, the other announcement I wanted to make, to update with everyone. With our sheriff's department, has been doing an incredible job for this past upcoming 7 months that we've been in the school district. We had low counts of reporting. Mostly the calls are related to escorts or petty theft, which is low in volumes, which is great due to last year. So we had a lot high crime volume. So they're doing a great job. What I would what's still being requested is our janitors and our sheriffs. We do have low reps. And they're asking for more help in those field supports. I don't think it's fair that our janitors and sheriffs get the disrespect end of stick through students and staff due to the fact that they're only working with what they're capable to work with or given to. A lot of it's a lack of knowledge of what is in place, what is established, and what each campus has. But our janitors and sheriffs is definitely our protectors and our cleaners of our campuses. So I definitely is asking for support in those areas and the respect around those areas as well, because there are safety leaving and coming, and our janitors is our health. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public signed up to address the board regarding the closed session agenda matters?
Yes.
We have Juan Wilford.
He's not on remote. You'd have to speak on his own behalf.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Absolutely, just on your own behalf on this particular matter.
So, I just want to speak on behalf of Juan Wilford. He's being suspended. We're recommended for suspension for his attendance. And I just want to say that, as I mentioned in the Scully hearing, that, when it comes to using your sick time, those are protected leaves, right? And the California law states that it's unlawful to discipline, retaliate, suspend, terminate for using accrued sick time. And that's exactly what he did, was use his sick time that he was entitled to. And not only that, it was approved by his supervisor. So, we don't understand why he's being disciplined for using something that he's, entitled to, and that was approved by his supervisor. It's not like he was on, taking advantage of his time or anything like that. And he also added during the Skelly hearing that, one of the contributing factors, for having taken so much time off from work is because of the climate. He's working at Trade Tech, And, you know, one of the issues is that they've been trying to fight for a B shift. And he comes in early in the morning at 4:30, which is a hardship trying to, you know, cover so much, you know, the workload in such a small amount of time. And that has, you know, an impact on him, not just him, everyone. And, you know, he's burnt out. So, so we're just saying that, you know, we think that this is an unfair discipline. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The board will now recess to close session in accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act, Government Code Sections 54950, and the Education Code to discuss the matters on the posted closed session agenda pursuant to Government Code Section 54954.5. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the meeting will now recess to closed session.